Hey, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Today, I want to talk about something deeply personal, something we all struggle with at some point, maybe constantly. And that's the feeling of being lost in a world that never stops talking. Everywhere we go, we are surrounded by noise. Not just sounds, although there's plenty of that, but noise in every form. Opinions, expectations, updates, headlines, advertisements, notifications. It's all loud. And in the middle of that noise, we're supposed to figure out who we are. Who we really are. Without filters. Without edits. Without other people's voices inside our heads. I don't know about you, but I've spent a lot of my life trying to meet expectations that weren't mine. Trying to be liked. Trying to be what I thought I was supposed to be. Perfect. Polite. Accomplished. Confident. Pretty. But what I've realized, and maybe you have too, is that the more you try to be what others want, the further you drift from yourself. It's like looking into a mirror that's been fogged up, and you're wiping and wiping, trying to see clearly, but every time you think you've cleared it up, another layer of steam appears. There was a time I genuinely didn't know what I liked. What I wanted. What I believed in. And that scared me. Because if I don't even know what makes me happy, what I enjoy, what my own values are, who am I really? I think we live in a time where it's so easy to outsource our identity. We scroll and scroll and scroll, seeing perfect homes, perfect bodies, perfect relationships, perfect productivity routines. And we start to adopt pieces of other people's lives. We start to mold ourselves silently, maybe without even realizing it, into images we see daily. But here's the thing, comparison is a thief. It steals your peace. It steals your confidence. It steals your authenticity. And worst of all, it whispers the lie that you're not enough. That you need to be more, do more, look better, achieve more, just to be worthy. But let me tell you something I've learned, slowly, gently, painfully, you are already enough. You are not a project to fix. You are not a mistake that needs correcting. You are not late, or behind, or failing at life. You are a human being, beautifully imperfect, constantly growing, unlearning, learning, and evolving. And that, in itself, is a miracle. For a long time, I avoided silence. I filled my days with noise, music, podcasts, shows, conversations, anything to distract me from myself. But then, one day, I sat in stillness. No music. No distractions. Just me and my breath. And I realized. I had no idea how to be alone with my thoughts. They scared me. They were loud. Judgmental. Insecure. But over time, I kept coming back to that silence. And something happened. The noise in my mind started to quiet down. I started to hear a different voice. A kinder one. One that said, you don't have to be perfect to be loved. One that said, you're doing okay. One that asked, what do you want, really? I started journaling, slowly at first, just a few lines each morning. No pressure to be poetic or deep. Just whatever was on my mind. And those words on paper? They became my mirror. They showed me parts of myself I'd forgotten. They helped me notice patterns, the way I shrink myself in conversations, the way I apologize for existing, the way I say yes when I mean no. That little notebook became my safest space. And then came the hard part, setting boundaries. Saying no. Speaking up. Walking away from things that no longer served me. That is terrifying, isn't it? Especially if you're used to being the peacemaker. The one who holds it all together. But there comes a point where you realize, if you keep prioritizing everyone else's comfort over your own truth, you're slowly abandoning yourself. And I was done doing that. I was done sacrificing myself on the altar of other people's expectations. So I started making small changes. I stopped explaining myself for every decision. I stopped watering myself down. I stopped waiting for permission to rest, to create, to just be. And slowly, I started to feel something I hadn't felt in a long time: peace. Not the kind that comes from everything going right, but the kind that comes from knowing I'm finally walking my own path, not someone else's. I also want to talk about social media, because it plays a huge role in this noise. It can be a beautiful tool, yes. But it can also be an addiction. A comparison machine. A false mirror. And when we spend hours in that world, it can disconnect us from the beauty of this world, the real one. The texture of the sunlight on your skin. The sound of leaves rustling in the wind. The warmth of your favorite mug in your hands. The laughter of someone you love. These are sacred things. And we miss them when we're buried in screens, looking for validation and likes and views and shares. Let me tell you something radical: your worth is not defined by productivity, or popularity, or how busy your schedule looks. Your worth is inherent. It's unshakable. And the quieter you become, the more you can hear it. There's a voice inside you, I promise, that already knows who you are. It's just been buried under all the noise. But it's still there. Still waiting. Still whispering, come home to yourself. So if you're listening to this and feeling like you're lost, like you don't know who you are anymore, that's okay. That's not a failure. That's a beginning. That's the first step. The moment you ask that question, who am I really? You're already on your way back. The journey isn't always pretty. Sometimes it's messy, and painful, and lonely. But it's also beautiful, and freeing, and so deeply real. Start small. Ask yourself what makes you feel alive. Notice what makes you feel heavy. Create space for silence. Journal. Move your body. Let yourself feel things deeply. Let yourself rest. Let yourself be enough, even when you're not achieving anything. And maybe, just maybe, turn down the noise. Even just a little. Unfollow the accounts that make you doubt yourself. Say no to things that drain you. Say yes to your intuition. Be brave enough to disappoint others if it means being true to yourself. Because at the end of the day, this life is yours. You don't owe it to anyone to live a version of it that doesn't feel true. You are never meant to be a copy of anyone else. You are here to be you, wildly, unapologetically, imperfectly you. So here's your permission: if you need it, you can slow down. You can change your mind. You can walk away. You can come back home to yourself. Thank you for being here with me. For listening. For holding space for this conversation. I hope something in these words found its way into your heart. I hope you feel a little less alone. And I hope you remember, you are not lost. You are on your way. Hey you. Welcome back. Welcome for the first time either way, I'm so grateful you're here. Really. Today, I want to talk about something that we all face in different ways, at different times in our lives. Something that can feel both painful and freeing at the same time. Let's talk about letting go. Letting go of people. Letting go of plans. Of expectations. Of old versions of ourselves. And sometimes, letting go of the life we thought we were supposed to live. You know, we're not really taught how to let go, are we? We're taught to hold on. To work harder. To make it work. To not give up. But sometimes, letting go isn't weakness. Sometimes, it's the bravest thing you can do. And sometimes, it's the only way forward. I want to start by saying this: it's okay to grieve what didn't happen. The job you didn't get. The relationship that didn't work out. The friend who stopped calling. The version of your life you dreamed of that just didn't become real. It's okay to be sad about those things. To feel them. To sit with that ache in your chest and not rush to fix it. I've had to let go of a lot in the last few years. Some things I let go of willingly. Others were ripped away. Either way, it hurt. And it changed me. But it also showed me who I really was. And what I really needed. There was a person in my life once, someone I loved so deeply. I thought they were my forever. I pictured a future with them. I built a story in my mind. But they were never really mine to keep. And when it ended, I felt like I lost a piece of myself. But the truth is, I hadn't lost myself. I had just wrapped so much of my identity in them that I forgot who I was without their presence. And that's the danger of attachment. We start confusing other people with our sense of self-worth. We forget that we were whole before they arrived. Letting go of that relationship was brutal. I cried. I questioned everything. I went through every memory trying to find a moment where I could have done something differently. And that's the other thing we do when things fall apart, we blame ourselves. We hold on to the past as if we can rewrite it. But we can't. And sometimes, the most powerful act of self-love is to release what we cannot control and stop carrying stories that no longer serve us. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending it didn't matter. It means honoring what it gave you, the lessons, the love, the growth, and then releasing it with grace. It means choosing peace over closure. Choosing the present over the what-ifs. Sometimes we even have to let go of good things. Things that once made sense, but no longer do. A job that used to excite you, but now feels heavy. A city that no longer feels like home. A habit that comforted you, but now holds you back. Growth is messy. It asks us to stretch. To outgrow. To move on from things that once felt permanent. And that's not failure. That's transformation. I also want to talk about letting go of who you used to be. That can be so hard. Maybe you were someone who always had it together. Or someone who was the strong one. The funny one. The successful one. And then, life happened. Things changed. You changed. And now you don't recognize yourself anymore. I get it. I've been there. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is the version of ourselves we were forced to let go of. But please hear me when I say this, you are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to be someone new. Someone softer. Or stronger. Or more quiet. Or more bold. You don't have to stay the same for anyone. Not even for the version of you from yesterday. Letting go is not an event. It's a process. Some days, you'll feel free. Other days, you'll miss what you left behind so much it aches. And that's okay. Healing isn't linear. Some wounds reopen. Some memories resurface. But little by little, the weight starts to lift. Your body feels lighter. Your mind grows quieter. Your heart opens up again. If you're struggling to let go right now, I want you to try this. Breathe. Just breathe. In. And out. That breath? That's presence. That's now. That's proof that you're still here. Still alive. Still becoming. And maybe write it down. Write them a letter. Write yourself a letter. Say all the things you need to say, and then burn it. Or keep it. But let those words move through you. Let them go, so they don't stay trapped inside your chest. Also, remind yourself, you are not what you've lost. You are not the things you've had to leave behind. You are what remains. You are what grows in the empty space. You are the story still unfolding. I've let go of people I thought I couldn't live without, and I'm still here. I've let go of dreams that didn't work out, and found new ones. I've let go of versions of myself that I outgrew, and made room for someone even more real. Letting go is not a weakness. It's not giving up. It's growing up. It's trusting that something better is ahead, even if you can't see it yet. It's choosing to no longer shrink yourself for comfort. It's learning how to hold yourself with tenderness, even when the world feels cold. So if you needed a sign, this is it. You don't have to keep carrying what's heavy. You don't have to keep proving your worth to people who don't see you. You don't have to explain your healing or justify your peace. You can just let go. I'll leave you with this. What would it feel like to forgive yourself? To let go of the shame? The guilt? The should have known better? What would it feel like to wake up tomorrow and say, I did my best? And that's enough? I hope you give yourself that chance. I hope you trust that even in the letting go, you're not losing, you're becoming. Thanks for sharing this space with me. I'm honored to walk this journey beside you, even if just for an hour. Take care of your heart. Be kind to your mind. And remember, not everything that leaves your life is a loss. Sometimes, it's a gift in disguise. Until next time, keep breathing. Keep trusting. Keep letting go. Hey love. It's just me, and I'm so glad you pressed play today. Whether you're lying in bed, walking through the city, driving alone, or just sitting quietly with your coffee, I want this space to feel like a hug. Like a soft place to land. Because today, I want to talk about something we all feel, even if we don't always say it out loud. Not feeling good enough. And I'll be real with you, I've felt that more times than I can count. In different ways, in different seasons, for different reasons. Not smart enough. Not pretty enough. Not successful enough. Not talented enough. Not outgoing enough. Just not enough. And that feeling? It's so quiet. So sneaky. It whispers in your mind when you wake up tired. It wraps itself around your shoulders when you scroll through highlight reels of other people's lives. It shows up in your relationships. Your work. Your inner critic. That voice that always seems ready to tear you down. But here's what I want you to know. You were never meant to be enough for a standard that's always moving. You were never meant to fit into everyone else's version of perfection. You were meant to be you. And sometimes, being yourself in a world that constantly tells you to be more, or less, is the bravest thing you can do. Let's go back, for a second. Think about when you were a child. Do you remember how you used to just be? You didn't need to earn your worth. You didn't need to perform or impress. You laughed loudly, asked questions, made messes, dreamed without shame. You were full of wonder. Of possibility. Of light. Somewhere along the way, you learned that being yourself wasn't always safe. That not everyone claps for you. That sometimes you get hurt. That sometimes, love feels conditional. So we start hiding parts of ourselves. We make ourselves smaller. We overcompensate. We stay quiet. We chase perfection. We hustle for approval. And suddenly, we don't know who we are anymore, only who we think we should be. But I want to ask you something. What if you don't need to prove your worth? What if who you are, right now, not after you achieve more or look better or fix all your flaws, is already enough? I know it sounds simple. Maybe even cheesy. But if we really believed we were enough, so many things would be different, wouldn't they? We'd stop apologizing for taking up space. We'd rest without guilt. We'd stop saying yes to things that drain us just to be liked. We'd leave situations that don't respect us. We'd stop comparing, stop rushing, stop pretending. We'd just be. And that's what I've been learning, slowly, imperfectly. I've been learning that being enough isn't about confidence, or beauty, or success. It's about belonging to yourself. Fully. Authentically. Gently. That doesn't mean you never grow. Growth is beautiful. But when it comes from love, not shame, it's sustainable. It's healing. You're allowed to want more for your life. But don't let that desire convince you that who you are right now is wrong. Here's another thing, sometimes, that feeling of not enough is rooted in comparison. And comparison is everywhere. We live in a culture that measures everything: followers, likes, income, milestones, timelines. And it's exhausting. It makes you feel like you're always behind. Like there's this invisible race you're supposed to win. But here's the truth: your life is not a race. It's not a performance. It's not a competition. It's a journey, and no one else can walk it the way you can. You're not behind. You're not late. You're not failing. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, learning what you're meant to learn. Let me pause here and say this to you, from the heart. You are not your mistakes. You are not your insecurities. You are not the things you wish you could change. You are not your worst day. You are not your productivity. You are not your trauma. You are not broken. You are healing. You are trying. You are growing. You are learning how to love yourself in a world that profits from your self-doubt. And that, my friend, is powerful. So, what do we do with this feeling of not being enough? We start by noticing it. Naming it. Meeting it with compassion instead of judgment. We remind ourselves that healing doesn't happen overnight. Some days will be heavy. Some days will feel like you're slipping back into old patterns. That's okay. That's part of it. We surround ourselves with people who see us, really see us. People who hold space without fixing. Who remind us of our light when we forget. We practice speaking kindly to ourselves. We stop waiting to feel perfect before we give ourselves permission to be happy. And maybe, just maybe, we start believing that we're allowed to be loved just as we are. Not because we've earned it. Not because we've changed. But because we're human. And that's enough. I want to leave you with this thought: you don't have to feel good enough every day to be enough. Feelings come and go. But your worth? That doesn't change. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be real. To be whole. To be human. So, take a deep breath with me right now, in and out. Let go of the pressure. Let go of the performance. Let go of the lie that you have to be more to be loved. You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. Thank you for sitting with me today. For sharing your time and your heart. I hope this conversation gave you a little more softness. A little more grace. A little more truth to hold on to. Until next time, keep showing up. Keep choosing yourself. And never forget, you are already enough, just by being you.